All right, what's up, gang? It is day 11 of the IS300 build, and I'm stoked. The panels are all on, they're all fastened, the mounts are made, it's all set in motion. So now it can all come off. But basically today, doing body work, and every other day now it's just body work. Panels are fit, they fit damn good. I'm stoked. So now it's just a ton of bodywork, sanding, slick sanding, priming, more sanding, prepping, painting, all that good stuff. So today, I just did it because I didn't show you guys, but I finished the driver's side trim delete on the door, and it's really nice. Turned out really good. I'm proud of myself. I just had to re-app a few spots. Kind of a pain because the doors aren't straight on these, they're actually crowned out. Does that make sense? So it like comes, it's like dramatic, it like comes out, right? So it's like gotta match that. And then the ends actually kind of peak up, right? So you gotta match that. So, and then you also gotta match it in the door frame and not have it stick out. It's kind of a pain in the so I want to take a break from sanding in that position, and today I'm going to be showing you how I do my wingless trunk. So essentially it's the same thing you've seen me do to literally like everything else in the car. I'm either going to 80 or 36 grit. I'm actually just going to 80 this off probably. By 36 it'll be really aggressive. I'm going to 80 off all this paint. Actually, I'm gonna 40. I'm just gonna grind them, and then I will feather the edges with 80, so it's nice. Alrighty, so I have here an angle grinder with 36 grit disc on it. Could use 80, just use 36. And I'm just gonna do a small area around where I'm gonna weld. Get all the paint off, you don't want any paint. And then I'm gonna weld it, grind it down, and then smooth it all out with 80. Then I'm just gonna smear the whole thing. So wish me luck. So it's all tacked out. That's a big transition until you feather it out. So also, just from where the clips held in when you were applying pressure, it's gonna pull the metal slightly. So if it's really bad, you know, and these lips are kind of puckered up, hit them down. As long as it's low, you'll be fine. And I'm gonna have to grind this whole thing just because like lacquer wouldn't take this adhesive off. So this is gonna be kind of wavy after I weld these up and grind them. But when I grind them, I'm gonna be very careful not to dig into this metal because it'll just make a big low spot. It'll make the metal weaker, and it'll put a lot of heat in it, which is bad because it'll make the panel do funky things. So we want the least amount of funkiness. Sand this all after I do the filling. That way I only gotta do it once to take less metal off. All right, so if I was jamming this car, it wouldn't be a big deal, but I don't have anywhere to ground. So I just got this little piece of exhaust hanger I cut up, sanded it off, and I'm just gonna give it a couple tacks right here so I can set my ground. Not heavy, hard tacks, just a couple. So then that makes a good ground to get the welder to actually work on the rest of this panel. Because I can't grind the seam sealer out of this seam, and yeah, it'll just be messy. So I'm just gonna tack, and then finish what I was doing. So the other ones are welded up. They warped about as much as you'd expect them to. They're all gonna be in low spots. Ground worked out perfect, so now we got this big hole. And I don't really feel like making a custom fit piece. So I just got my magnet. This is touching, washer's touching the grounded material. Magnets do screw with welders. if I remember correctly. So this might be kind of a pain. Tack it a couple times, get the magnet out of there, fill it, bing, bang, boom, done. Ground it flush. Nobody will ever know. Alright, so I'm at the point where I've filled all of the little pinholes. Everything is ground out. No high metal. I ground off all stuff. I'm gonna ruin the audio. I kind of got all the heat spots out of it. So now I'm gonna take a DA, don't do it, with 36 grit. I'm gonna DA and kill all the paint off this. Then I'm gonna go over it with 80 because I'm just gonna glaze this because it's not crazy. You shouldn't be using like glaze really as filler, but this is so like crazy, like small, that I'm just gonna do a smear, sand it off, guide coat it, and hope we're good. So that's kind of what it's gonna look like if you do it correctly and you shave them. If I do fill these and there are some high spots, I'll just tap the metal and kind of re-app that spot, but I think that they're all gonna be pretty low. Here we go. So, as you can see, it is all prepped. I actually ended up having to, on every single one of these, they just felt a little high, and you can even kind of see it. See the little mountain right there? So that looks like it's high, but the whole spot's kind of low because the heat sunk it. But I still took my body hammer and hit around a little bit just to try and sink it lower, because I really only want to try and glaze this once if possible. I could, take a really slim coat of Bondo, but it's like less than a millimeter difference, so you can totally blend all that. I did the extra step, so I 40'd it out, right? Pretty much like out to here, hard line. And with glaze, you really only need to like 150 it. You don't even got to get all the paint off of it. So, and it's like new stuff sticks to pretty much bare paint. So I 40'd it, and then I 80'd it, and feathered my line out even farther, and then I went over and 150'd it. And why I did that was because now I have a smooth transition from my paint to where I'm mapping, because I'm going to app this entire thing with glaze and then sand off the excess. So now I don't have like a whip, so it's not like and you're going to feel that. Now it's just going to be nice and smooth, and it's going to smoothly transition onto the paint. I kind of ground off this a little bit. It really didn't pull anything in here though. There's no wonky stuff, because see, that's kind of a whip, but it's 150'd, but it's not feathered out super hard, just this edge. So I'm gonna app all this, and then we're gonna hit the big stuff off with the DA real quick, and then I'm gonna hand sand it with a long block and probably a short block in areas. So you DA it until all your weird ridges and stuff are gone, and then you guide coat it or just hand sand it, go by feel. And we'll see where we get. My phone is super gonna die, weird on storage, everything. So I'm gonna give it back to Kiara, and I'm gonna come back when it's glazed and hopefully done. So here we go. So it's all glazed. It's still, it's sandable right now actually. It's just a touch tacky, it's still hot. So I'm gonna let it get a little harder. You never wanna hit glaze, like I said before, when it is still drying. You actually want glaze very hard, because it's just a finishing putty. So hopefully we got it covered. It's a pretty dang thick build, so, and pretty smooth app. I kind of screwed up right here, but that's easy to take care of. So that's kind of how you do it. And this, I know a lot of you people are probably cringing at this. You feather it out. Tape lines on Bondo are a real thing. And if you work in a body shop, your painter will fucking kill you if you leave tape lines in your Bondo. So feather that out super good. That's also why I did this and kind of left some room, because instead of a hump or like a stair set, I said, so now it's just like it's like a slide. It's like a very small slide. Alrighty, so that took me exactly 1 hour to sand, finish, do everything. And pretty much perfect. I might re-app the whole thing just because that's a touch over sanded. And there's like where the trunk mounts to, like the actual bolts, there's one little high metal spot here, one little high metal spot here. So that's how I know that is that. I didn't even look. So I might re-app that and blend this entire thing. I probably will do that if I have the time. But damn, like, if you were to paint that, I feel like this will prime out. This is like a small high spot, but it's like smooth. It's not like a pointy. And this blends in super nice. But that's how you do it right there. Weld the holes, grind it, prep the surface. And if I were to do it again, I might just Bondo bust it instead of 40 it. But I wanted it to be very even and level for the glaze. And honestly, you could prime all this crap out for the most part. And with this car, I don't know if I am allowed to say yet, but I'm going to have a big custom drag wing that I'm going to build. Or I might have my brother help me. Looks freaking good, honestly. Got the door shaved. That shaves, and I got the other door, the fender, and the roof. The roof being kind of a big one because I'm deleting the antenna. And I got a cover probably out to here. Smear it forward and mask the glass. That's gonna suck. Gotta flex sand the whole kit and the panels and everything so they're not wavy, which is just gonna make a huge difference. Stoked. Couple odds and ends, and then pretty much just prep the damn car for paint and primer. I'm so stoked to see this thing primed and then like painted and stuff. Well, I'm gonna be doing it, so hopefully it turns out. I don't know, but anyways, oh, that's my car. It's like so aggressively unassuming, because like I don't know, you'd have to see it in person. The camera doesn't do the quarter panel justice because they're bowed out right there, but the gaps are decent and it's blended, so it just looks like a square wide body, but it is like, you can kind of see it. Quarter panel like dives in and goes perfectly back with the body line, like the straight one. Like, oh, it's thick like peanut butter in the fridge. So, god damn. That's my car. It has been 2 weeks, and that is my car. Less than 2 weeks. Holy crap. Man, I would have done this a long time ago had I had the time and money. Like, it's been a lot of work, but it's a lot of work, but it's not what you think it is if you have to do this every single day. So, damn. All right, gang, well, that wraps up day 11 or 12 or whatever day it is. All I know is I got like 2.5 weeks to have this thing completely done to where I can show it at least. I don't get a drive, but that's okay. I'm stoked to just have it finished and have people get a look at it, because that's cool. Tons of work. So remember to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. And if all of you have made it this far throughout the videos, I love you guys. I know it is not easy watching someone's build that's not an LZ figure or something that's like, I just bought a new car, I'm drifting my JZX100. I'm like, because I watch that but I also watch a lot of how-tos and people building a car, because that's realistic. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. If you have any questions, just ask. Hit us up on Paths Drift Instagram or YouTube. Let us know what you'd like us to see. And that's about it. Have a good night, guys. Peace.